Yo, what's up, everybody? If you haven't heard about Anchor, let me tell you, this is one of the easiest ways to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone or computer. Third, Anchor will also distribute for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Then you can also make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Later.
Welcome to The Lion's Den with Seth, a podcast where progressive men and women can learn and teach each other the ways of the land. The Lion's Den is where royalty comes to council. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Seth.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of The Lion's Den. It's Sunday. Hopefully you're staying warm, outside, cool, and all this other stuff, but you're keeping your distance, all right? You're keeping your distance. This is going to be a great show, and if you haven't done so already, please make sure you have something to write with and something to write on, because this is going to be a dope show. But before we go into it, we have to talk about our sponsors. Right on, because if it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be where we are today. So without further ado, let's talk about Upper Soles. Right on. Upper Soles. Upper Soles is a shoe company by this young man. He get those retro kicks out there. Make sure y'all go and check them out on Upper Soles on IG. Okay, that's UPPERSOLEZ. All right, Upper Soles, and he really, truly gets them in. Make sure you go and follow him, like, and subscribe. And also, we have our special guest today, but she's also a sponsor, Miss Tracie Brown. If you want to get your credit right and know what it is, and just being financially sound, I highly encourage you to give her a call. Number 618-560-3687. Sounds good? Sounds good. Now, right, what we do right around this time is introduce the rest of the den. What's going on, Herm? How you feel, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Trying to see if we're going to stop raining out here, bro.
Man, I don't know what's going on. It's like it plays with your emotions, right? It's sunny, then all of a sudden, boom, now here's a thunderstorm. What you do today?
Man, I got tricked today, man. I was driving around and looking for something, just bored. And I saw this building that said Tinderbox. So, hey, I'm thinking, okay, man, I ain't know Tinder had brick and mortar. I'm about to go in there and see what's going on. Come to find out it's a cigar shop.
You know what? Listen, no. So what we not go? I forgot all about that, and I can't believe you.
I thought it was. I didn't know. I thought, okay, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to learn something new. But I didn't learn something new. I got a cigar and tried that out for the first time. So
you know what? Sorry, I even asked what the hell your day was about. Hey, Big Will, what you got going on down there, brother?
Man, I'm cooler, man. Herm, you out of line, brother. Hey, you were definitely on the little short bus, man. Hey, but this Sunday, brother, this weather is definitely on crack, man. Been in here working on EPRs and doing a little reading today and doing some little chillaxing. Nothing major, man. Trying to catch up with my man Larry, who overseas doing this thing. But other than that, man, just ready to go. Looking forward to this show.
Most definitely. Yeah. Shout out to Larry. He always holding it down. And I mean, time difference and all. He gets it in. And last but not least, I want to introduce our special host this week. Hey, this brother been holding it down with me on the UMU page, right? And I was listening to this dude, I'm like, what, let me bring him over to the den and see what he about. Jay Will, how you feeling, brother? Welcome on the den, dog. Huh?
Good, Seth. Nah, because I kept bugging him. I said, man, Seth, I see you doing your thing over there. You know what I'm saying? When can I get down? I mean, you only got one ball person on the team, so I'm trying to level the playing field out. You know what I'm saying? Team ball. You know, I got me a first ball today, and we good, right? We good?
Yo, we good, man. I'm glad you on, bro. So now where you at, man?
Shoot, I'm out here. They got me in the sticks at Holloman. Sorry to get down on y'all. I didn't want to bring the mood down.
Wait, where that's for people that don't know.
Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Oh my Lord, what's out there besides you? And those armadillos. What's out there?
Hey, man. So what I'm gonna say is, if we want to get started with the show, I don't want to detract people's attention too much, from what we got going on. Bring the mood. See, we bringing the mood down. We're supposed to keep it up. She about to give us some valuable information. I'm gonna ask my questions, and you want to start down the
bruh, you right, because that spot is depressing. But I'm glad you there and you getting it in, man. And welcome to the den. So, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, she's extremely smart when it comes down to credit repair. She's retired Air Force vet, and she's dedicated her time to help educate individuals and helping you to understand what good credit is. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Tracie. There you go. All right. There you go. How you feeling?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Seth, and the Lion's Den for having me on. I know it's been a little while, but I'm glad we were able to connect on today.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to sharing some information with you and your fans.
Okay, right on. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you share. It don't hurt anything, right? Someone may need this information. Not just that, they may be walking around with a credit score of 103 and think that is cool. You see what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's a real number. Whatever. No. But, just make sure you share this information. It can be extremely beneficial. All right. So, Jay Will, I'm going to give you the honors, brother. Go ahead. You ask your first question.
I'm gonna just start it off. How did you get started in this? Because I know I have my personal opinions. I know that credit is valuable. I know, we all know the basics. Well, we like to think that we know the basics of credit, but for you to take it in that direction, I don't even want to go too far down the line, but how did you get started, like helping others as well? And like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
How did it all come about,
Absolutely. Well, let me first start off by just telling a little bit about myself. And like you said, kind of like my background and how I got started. So as Seth alluded to earlier, I am a 23-year Air Force veteran. I retired out of Scott Air Force Base, actually, back in 2015. Stayed in the area. I'm from St. Louis, originally from St. Louis. So got close to home. And when I retired, I really wasn't looking to really work full time or be any type of leadership position, if you will. I was really wanting to retire and kind of relax for a little bit. I had just gone through a divorce. My 4 children, my 4 daughters and I were living together, of course. And I really was just looking to just retire and just relax. But one day in 2017, my hairstylist, Shamika Coleman, had introduced me to this opportunity. And I was just like, well, my credit's a little bit bad. I had to file bankruptcy, with the divorce. And I was like, well, I'll just help you out, though. I don't really need the services. You can't do anything with a bankruptcy after 7 to 10 years. That's a myth, by the way. So I was like, well, let's give it a shot. So I went ahead and got enrolled. And really, literally, the rest is history. 3 years later, I'm still here, still impacting lives. And I'm just serving people on a different level now. I served my country for 23 years. Now I've just transitioned to the civilian world, civilian sector. And now I'm serving the Americans in financial literacy and the power of credit. So very rewarding position that I'm in right now to be able to assist and help people kind of find their financial freedom, if you will. And get them on the road to creating generational wealth.
Okay. Wow. Congratulations. And thank you for serving. Right? Thank you for serving. Right? That's dope. All right, Big Will, what you got, brother?
This is Tracie. How you doing?
Wonderful. How are you doing, Will?
Hey, I'm blessed. So I'm looking to see what information you can provide to both parents and military supervisors when they get that young airman that may not have had credit established, and what can parents do where your kids are younger to put them on that right track, get them started off.
Very good question. And that's exactly what it's really all about, is kind of breaking some generational curses, if you will. A lot of information wasn't really shared with us when we were younger, kind of growing up. So it's very important for us to break that cycle and change the narrative. So what I like to tell my prospects is, instead of us putting like utility bills or cable bills in our children's names and not paying the bills and messing their credit up, let's change it around and put them on the credit cards as an authorized user. That is an awesome way for us to establish credit for our young adults, to prepare them for adulthood, if you will. Now, I'm not saying give them the card. No, I'm not saying that at all. However, if you have a positive trade line and you're paying your bills on time, and you've established that credit history, transferring that same positive trade line to your children is one of the best ways for you to set them up for success and help them establish credit at a young age. So when they do go out, when they turn 18, 21, whatever the age that is, they have a positive, a good credit score and a good credit history, versus, starting from the bottom, if you will.
What's that? Can I follow up with that? What's that age? Because there's a lot of fallacies out there where they say you can add your children as an authorized user. So what's that age?
Yep, you would need to talk to your financial institution about that. I've seen as young as 16, though. So you definitely want to speak with whoever your credit card carrier is, ask them what that minimum age is for the authorized user, and definitely look to set them up that way.
All right, that's dope. All right, Big Herm, what you got, dog? Because before you ask, though, it's funny you said that, because I thought we were out of the age of parents putting their kids on their bills or putting the bills in the kids' names. I forgot that you could still do that. My mother did that to me, and I thought I was running things like, really? I'm in middle school. That don't mean nothing. Silly nut. Herm, what you got?
How you doing, Miss Tracie?
Wonderful.
Nice
How you
to
doing,
talk
Herm?
with you today. I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
So I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups that talk about credit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be the first to admit that when it comes to credit, I don't know a lot. I'm right now like in the baby stages of trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing, right? Sure. So when I read something that somebody said, credit is a fraud, it's a myth. We don't need credit. Cash is king. And so I'm reading this, and I'm reading the back and forth conversations that the people are having, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, not a lot of people got that kind of cash to just buy a house like that. So what are they really saying? So have you come across that where people are saying credit is just a fraud? We don't really need credit. That's somebody else's game. And can you speak to that?
Absolutely. When you say the word fraud, meaning just something that's not really needed, is that what you mean?
Yeah, right. Because
okay, exactly.
right,
I was tracking what you were saying. Fraud.
Because Tracie, there's individuals, and to Herm's point, there's individuals that say, well, you don't need credit, and it's just a scam just to get good credit. However, there's a such thing as buying power, and I don't think individuals know that. But go ahead, you can speak on that.
Exactly. So you're absolutely correct. When I think about credit, I think people have a bad perception of credit because it was abused. It's been abused for so many years. If you use the credit the way it's intended to be used, you're able to leverage other people's money. I call it OPM. And that allows you to open up other doors that, like you said, your cash won't get you in. So like you already alluded to, Herman, unless you're going to be paying $200,000 for a home, you're going to need credit. Right? You might have the cash flow to be able to afford that mortgage, but those lenders still want to see a credit score of a certain number. And that number is about 680 to 700 right about now post-COVID. So if you don't have the credit score plus the cash, i.e. down payment, closing costs, be able to afford the mortgage, you're going to need your credit. So the thing about it, I think we weren't really taught about how credit works. So when you know how to, like I tell them, if you know how to play the game and know the rules of the game, you can play the game and win.
Hey,
so you know the rules of credit, you can play the game and you can have it and leverage your credit, just like Seth alluded to.
And
so credit is not a bad thing.
And,
You have to learn how to use it properly.
yeah, and I love that, and that makes a lot of sense. And I think ultimately what we're understanding now is it's about educating yourself.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? But someone gave a good question, Erica. As a matter of fact, shout out to you and everyone else that's tuned in. Thanks for those questions. So, what is the myth, or is it a myth, that constantly checking your credit score will lower it? Right now, because if you think about it, you have all three type of credit, what is it? Bureaus, right? That you can check. So does it lower your credit score by you checking it, or is it just the other way around? Credit lenders.
Exactly. It's the other way around. So when lenders do a credit check on you, you're trying to apply for a home or a car, or credit card. Those are considered hard inquiries. And yes, those do affect your score. But, if you're doing 1 or 2, it doesn't really affect it. But if you're going out, like you're looking like you're desperate for credit and you're trying to, go here, there, and everywhere to apply for credit, that does send a red flag to the creditors that you're desperate for credit. You want to be very strategic when you are having your credit pulled. I know when I was 20, just coming to the military, I think I had about 10 different department store cards. Did not know about credit. I just knew, hey, Ms. Amron Davis, you opened up a Victoria's Secret credit card today. You're going to get 10% off your purchase. Oh, okay, well, let's do it. And I did it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Steph, that was the lack of education. Okay. So we're just trying to change that narrative and start educating people on how finances work, how credit works, so people can make a better informed decision going forward. Yeah, but as far as you pulling your own credit, like through Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, those do not count against your credit score at all. That's just a soft inquiry. Okay. It doesn't have any bearing on your score.
No, that makes sense.
She was telling stories, Steph. I didn't want her to tell her story about herself. Mine was cell phones. I don't know if anybody remembers back when you used to get a cell phone and you had to go do the credit check.
Yeah.
So I went to every cell phone company, Sprint, Cellular, whoever, Nextel, all of them, and was like, hey, I want a cell phone. And by the end, it was like, you go through 5, 6 different cell phone carriers. Mm-hmm. They were like, your credit score is, which I ain't gonna say the number. And
you had 150. Is that what it was?
I just remember it was they were just like, nah. And then I remember what it was, Singular.
Singular, the old AT&T.
Yeah, Singular. They were like, yeah, we can get you in. It's no problem. It's just $500 deposit. I was like,
500 where? So the only one you could get was the back in the day Obama phone, right on. Hey, Jay Will, not Jay Will. Hey, Will, what you got, brother?
Before you
go ahead.
Ask a question. Let me piggyback on what Jay Will was saying.
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned about the deposit, right? So you think about this, credit is everywhere we go. That 3-digit number really does affect a lot when it comes to opportunities. So like you're saying, the lower your credit score is, the higher that deposit is going to be for whatever it is you're trying to, to obtain. In your case, your situation, a cell phone, you have to go, when you go to Sprint or AT&T, if you have a poor score, they're going to want a higher deposit from you. So it really would be very advantageous for us to get a better score so that we don't have to worry about those down payments and those high interest rates.
Awesome.
Okay.
So Tracy,
Uh-huh.
I got so many different things I'm going to be throwing your way, but I'm going to break this down to 2.
Okay.
So the different agencies that you can get online to do these monthly pulls of your score, like MyFICO. Mm-hmm. Can you provide some feedback on your opinion about those sites and the accuracy of the numbers and information they provide?
Sure. Now, the MyFICO, or I should say my FICO score is the more valid score, I would say, the more accurate score when it comes to FICO. But as you know, there's there's over 20 different FICO scores, okay?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, you want to, say for instance, you're going to go for a home, mortgage lender, you can ask them what credit bureau do they pull when it comes to their mortgage loans. Sometimes they pull all 3, but sometimes they just work with just one. But find out what that FICO range score that they're using so you can kind of be better equipped to have the better score for what they're looking for. But the FICO is definitely the better way to go. So the MyFICO, of course, you can .com, you can get your FICO score that way. The other ones like Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, those types of sites, those are affiliate type of marketing sites. They definitely do provide some information for you and some really, really good history on your credit. But when it comes to the credit score, that's actually considered what we call a Vantage score. And most creditors don't want that. They want your FICO score. So you want to be aware of what both of those scores are, if you will, but just know that the FICO score is more accurate and is what the creditors the lender's going to want more from you, the FICO versus the Vantage.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. So before we get too deep into the credit and everything, it's kind of making me hungry. I don't know about y'all, maybe because I just didn't eat. But Tracie, you do know about Kevlar's Grill, don't you?
Yes, the one in the VFW.
You right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we about to talk about. Yeah. Hold on. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know, Kevlar's Grill is another sponsor of ours, right inside the VFW, Scott VFW, outside the back gate, post 4183. Listen, the food is outstanding and they give military discount. The food is great. So make sure you give them a call. They have Grubhub, 618-416-5700. Right on. Next, we also have Miss Monique Slater, ladies and gentlemen. She is retired chief as well, 28 years getting it in San Antonio. Look, if you're going to San Antonio or in San Antonio or just need some help getting a home, her and her team has got it down to a science. They can help you get a house in 6 hours, ladies and gentlemen, 6 hours. Yeah, straight up. So I highly encourage y'all, give her a call. Her number, direct number, 210-237-7268. Right on. All right, go ahead, big. Let me see, Jay Will, you had something. What you got, brother?
Oh yeah, baby. I was just reading the live, and then so one that I used to have as well, Miss Wilson, it looks like. So I got to pick on that one. Miss Wilson was asking, is it true that closing out unused accounts negatively impacts your credit?
It does. When you think about it, you have a positive trade line that you've been paying on for let's say 5-10 years. Once you close that account, there's no longer any type of history being accumulated. So you really want to be able to be very, selective when it comes to closing accounts. Now, I do say that if your card has like an annual fee, or if you're being charged some crazy administrative fees for having a card, I would definitely look to probably close those cards if you have another card to replace that line of credit. So you have say you got $1,000 credit card, and that one has a fee of $50 every year. But you have another one that's maybe $2,000 that you've had just as long with no annual fee. I would definitely suggest that you recommend that you close that one that does have the annual fee, because it doesn't make no sense for you to pay for a card that you don't have to pay for when you have one that you don't have an annual fee on. But when you close those accounts, yes, sir, it stops your credit history. So be selective when you're closing those accounts.
It definitely sounds like you was touching on some debt to income as well. Ratios in there. So you was kind of dancing around it. So you want to hit on that point because you was like, hey, if this card has a $50 fee,
you're right.
Depending on, because honestly, this answer has so many levels to it, right? Sure. When you're thinking about it, you'll say, well, if this fee is $50, but it's got a $30,000 credit limit, maybe I don't want to close that card to open up a $2,000 one. So do you want to kind of touch on that debt to income as well with that? Sure.
So debt to income ratio is definitely important when it comes to looking to be a homeowner. That's usually kind of where it kind of comes into play. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your income that you have coming into your home does not exceed, if you will, what you have going out in expenses. So they want to make sure that debt to income ratio is going to be low. I want to say it's like 30% or something like that. 30 to 50%. When you get with your mortgage lender, they'll let you know exactly what that number needs to be. They want to make sure that you're not going to outstretch yourself and kind of live above your means, if you will. So that DTI, debt to income ratio, is very important when it comes to you looking to get some financial freedom, if you will, and be able to free up some money to be able to get those assets that you're actually, wanting to obtain. It's all about assets and liabilities. We want more assets than we have liabilities.
All right. Okay. Hey, so Big Herm, what you got, bro?
So check to piggyback a little bit off of what Will said, I just have a comment, then I got a question.
Okay.
Like Credit Karma, man, that's the biggest gas up, because I remember looking at my credit card and I saw this number. I was like, oh, it's time to refinance my car, because I got gypped when I signed up for that car because I didn't know much about credit. So I was that mean that signed up for a high interest rate. So when I saw that Credit Karma, I walked up into the banks all swaggy. I was like, hey, I'm here to refinance. I need to talk to somebody. Get somebody over here. And then when they told me my other score, I was like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, shut your ass up real quick, didn't it?
I guess I
sat down.
Maybe not.
Credit Karma's name after that. But anyway, so somebody asked in the comments, it says, and we talked about it a little bit, but it says, he asked, what do I need credit for if I pay cash for everything? So outside of like houses and big purchases, what would a person need credit for if they are paying cash for everything?
Really, the big answer, the immediate answer to that is really nothing. But like I said, unless you're gonna, drop some money down for your investment properties, or of course any type of land you're trying to obtain, or a home or a car or boat, whatever those types of things are, you don't need to have credit. So if they can just go off your cash flow alone, by all means, go right ahead. But if you're trying to level up and, like I try to say, buy up the block, you're going to need some credit. You're going to leverage other people's money. I'm not trying to work for the rest of my life. I want to be able to have some passive income, have some residual income, to where I'm going to be able to leverage that and have that, fuel my lifestyle. So unless, they're wanting to pay cash for everything, then by all means, you don't have to have credit. You really don't.
Hey,
don't have those type of money management skills to be able to acquire those nice things that they're wanting to have. So they need to have credit.
So
I think a lot of people are very taboo about credit because they weren't taught about credit.
And that's the deal. And that's what we're trying to do, trying to connect those dots. Absolutely. Now. Hey, Big Will, Spence, go ahead, man. What you got?
Hey, Miss Tracy. Mm-hmm. So I've had a lot of airmen in my time, and something I catch is they get here, they don't have a vehicle. This account for teenagers too. But when they go there and they sign that application to run their credit, how many different lenders is that company going to send that loan to see if they can get you approved? So although you sign one form, you can end up with 7 pulls on your credit. So
the answer to that question, as many as they need to get them that loan. And that's the sad part about it. So that's one thing I try to educate my clients on now, is get pre-approvals. You can go to your credit union, you can go to your bank and get a pre-approval so they can let you know exactly how much they're going to be able to lend you. So guess what? You could be like Herm walking into that car dealership. I have a pre-approval. You're not going to have me spend more than this, and I already have my interest rates, and this is what I want. You can go in there being a boss with that pre-approval letter versus, like you said, having poor credit, not knowing where your credit really is, and then taking the risk of them running your credit report, several times. They're going to run it until they really can get you into that vehicle.
You know what?
Add up to multiple, inquiries.
You know what, Trace? You said something that made some sense, because I remember that feeling, having a pre-approved check in my hand. Sure. You talking about walking with some big old... Feeling good about myself, right? Listen, hey, Herm, check it out. Hey, so I had this check in my pocket, you did? Now, I knew what I wanted, and I knew how much it cost. So I'm like, hey, listen, come over here for a minute. I think I like this. Okay, well, look, let's go and run some things. No, I'm straight. I got the money. I think I want this. And then they said, well, okay, well, this is how much it'll be. Nah, then not only did I have buying power, I had haggling power. So what I did was I had a conversation with the dude. I said, listen, you have a chance right now to get commission. You telling me you got to go talk to somebody? I know you ain't got nobody to talk to. All right. You know how they do. I'm right back. Let me go see what my managers say. You ain't talking to nobody, stupid. Check it out. Let's cut the crap, right? I got this check, what it is. What do you think he did? He took the check. You feel what I'm saying? So going back to that point, what you have to, what do you need credit for? It gives you that buying power and leverage too. It gives you leverage.
The leverage. It's all about the leverage. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Yeah.
And I'm all about leveraging other people's money.
Yeah.
Always.
I want to keep piecing together some of the stuff that you're saying over all of our questions. Because looking at Miss Monique comment, she's saying I'm buying a fourplex and I don't have $750K. So going back to one of the comments you made earlier, it's not about building credit to get liabilities. It's about getting credit to get assets.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's what you said already. You know what I mean? Throughout the thing. So you're not talking about, hey, I want you to go finance your rims, guys, because you got this high credit score. Right. I want you to go finance this TV from Best Buy because they got an 85-inch now. You know, you're talking about generational wealth. You're talking about building credit as a foundational start to get those assets to then pass on or even get that passive income. So now I'm putting words in your mouth. So I want you to, but I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm like, I'm putting it together because it's really about those assets. And that's that fallacy with credit is get a high credit score. So then I know I was going to get the Dodge Charger RT, but now I'm going to get the Hellcat because now I got a better credit score. You know what I'm saying? But it's not about that. So go ahead, follow up with that. And then I really want you to touch on that point, like the importance of credit, you know, for assets.
But that you made it, you really summarized that very well. I thank you for that. It's really about changing the mindset. It's really about just breaking those generational curses and giving people a different perspective on how to look at money, credit, money management, and just educating ourselves. You know, as the word says, we perish for lack of knowledge. We have to be able to arm ourselves with the knowledge, first of all. And it's very important for us to change that narrative. It's not all about what can help me right now, but how about my children's children? You know, the generations that are coming after me. What can I do to build that legacy for my children and their children? So it's really important for us to just kind of have that dialogue, continue to educate those that are willing to be educated. Not everybody wants to be educated. I'm finding that out. But the mission does still continue, of course, for us, our financial literacy platform. And it's all about, like you said, just having those assets and being able to leverage things to be able to, in my words, buy up the block.
All right. Big Will, what you got?
Miss Tracie, I'm quite sure this is going to hit everybody in the audience because somebody didn't experience this. When you have that old item on your credit history that has been passed down from company to company where they're buying debt, you got something from 97 and then it's 2020 and it's still popping red on your credit. Yeah. How do you get rid of those items on your credit?
Well, first of all, let me say you're very correct in that because everybody probably has some old items on their credit report. And that's why we definitely are able to assist by leveraging the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But with that, what happens is if you have an item on your credit report and say, for instance, that collection agency makes contact with you and you pretty much validate the debt, that restarts your clock. So when creditors are calling you, or if they're calling you, I'm not saying you per se, but if you get those calls, you want to send it to me in writing. You don't want to validate any debt over the phone because when you do, that restarts the clock as far as the time of when it's supposed to be able to be disputed and delete off your credit report. So to kind of piggyback on that though, old items on your credit report for collection agencies are passed down. They do sell that credit for pennies to the dollar all the time when you choose not to pay your credit, your debt, I should say. So when they do that, those collection agents are trying to be able to gain anything they can. They can just get $5 from you. That's better than nothing because they bought it from us to nothing. But when they do that, though, you have no obligation with that creditor, with that collection company. You had the agreement with that creditor, with that credit card company, not the collection agency. So think about that if and when you are looking to dispute collection items that are on your credit report. They have no authority to collect from you at all.
You know what? I'm glad you said something because when I was younger, I had that issue. And, you know, like Jay Will talking about with the cell phones. And one collector called me and had an attitude. As a matter of fact, he was trying to get ignorant. He was like, yo, look, I know you got the money. I'm like, mother, who you talking to? Like, for real. It was a credit collection. He was like, look, he was like, look, man. He was like, look, I do know people. I'm not lying, y'all. This dude calling me, look, you want my money, all right? Now, I was like an A1C or whatever, forgot the bill or whatever, just didn't care, you know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to floss or whatever. But this dude called me like, look, hey, look, what you trying to do? Look, we know where you stay at. I mean, he was really no kidding, threatening me over like $75. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I don't know. Maybe that's just my experience. Hey, Big Herm, what you got, bro?
No, it does happen though.
Oh, it does.
Let me piggyback on that real quick.
Okay.
So you think about it. when you have a poor, when I say poor, when you have, well, a good credit score to a poor credit score, think about it. They ask you for references, right? Do you know why?
They don't trust you.
All right, because they don't trust
Right.
you,
They
too
want to know
young,
where they want to know where you're gonna be, so
and want to know how to get you. Yeah.
They know where to find you.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about that. I learned that since I've been in this business and this company, is that when they ask those 3 references, those are typically the people that are closest to you, or your friends, or maybe your parents, and then maybe one of your close friends. So if you default on that loan, they know where to find you, so they can come take that car. So be mindful of that.
Yeah.
When you have a high credit score, you can come in there and sign and drive, right?
Right. Hey, so look, shout out to everybody that's out there that's giving, other people names and everything. Listen, they don't want them calling. You're right. Look, at least give them somebody that don't really exist. Give them somebody that's dead or something like that. Because if they call my crib asking me about your money, I'm gonna have an attitude with them. Then I'm coming and hollering at you. Hey, Big Herm, what you got, dog?
So coming up, I didn't really get talked to about credit much. Matter of fact, I probably didn't get talked to about credit at all. My first experience with credit with, just like a lot of people in the military, is that Star card, which I abused like a mug. I was buying everything up as soon as I came in. So where, like, for the people that's listening, that talk to their kids, what is the first steps that people should know about establishing credit? People say pay your bills on time. What are some of the easy, good ways, pretty safe ways that people should know about establishing credit?
Yeah, good question. I think before establishing credit, we have to kind of talk about financial management, just being able to manage money, a checkbook, being able to balance a checkbook, understanding the debits and credits, how it works. You put money into your account, you're able to draw money out, just like the basics with that. Then you can definitely graduate up to credit and explain to them how it does work. You think about it, your credit score is like a pie chart, right? So the first 35% of your score is based on your on-time payments. Like you said, you pay your bills on time. You have a debt, you need to pay it, right? Pay it on time. Then the next 30% is your utilization. So what that means is you are not to exceed 30% of your limit. So like you said, and like I did too, when I first came in, I had $1,000 credit limit. What did I do? I charged it $1,000, not knowing that was going to drop my score. Okay. So when you have $1,000 credit card, your 30% threshold is $300. You're not to exceed $300. So who does that as an A1C? Nobody.
Not me.
No, nobody. But that's what I said earlier. If you know the rules of the game, you can play it and win. So if you known that, you wouldn't have exceeded the 30% because you wanted your score to, you want to have a good credit score. Okay, then the next 50% is actually your credit, a good credit mix, if you will. They want to be able to see that you can actually manage different types and different lines of credit. So most people can take care of a $300 credit card bill with no problem. But what about a mortgage? What about a car loan? They want to see a nice mixture of credit. And then the next 10%, of course, is just kind of like your the inquiries, of course, and then your new credit, like you said before. When you pay off a loan, you want to be able to replace that if you don't have another trade line to kind of keep that credit history going. You want to be able to have new credit every 12 to 18 months because most creditors go back 12 to 18 months when they pull your credit report to look at your history.
Wow.
But to kind of follow up with that question, though, it's just a matter of just, like you said, breaking the generational curses, of course, and being able to educate our children at a younger age about how credit works. Because credit is really a wonderful thing, and it can open up a lot of great doors and opportunities when you do have the credit. But the best way to do it is to talk about it. Just kind of know what those facts are. Let them know not to abuse credit. Let them know how your credit scores are actually calculated, and then be able to kind of manage it from there.
Okay. Well, look, before we go into any more, y'all, first I want to let y'all know to give a call if y'all have a number, or not a number. If you have a question, call us at 618-792-6747 on the Lion's Den. But last but not least, we're talking about good credit. And what is one thing you can do to keep good credit? Put the damn shovel down and not building more credit. You get what I'm saying? So one of the things that I'm promoting is the Physicians Management Services. What they do is they help you to get skills in the medical field without going into debt. Student loans. You get what I'm saying? And so their number is 618 825-8173, and they will help you out with everything, getting that information and learning how to be a medical assistant in any type of medical field. And also they're starting their they're starting their training virtually online. So if you can hear my voice right now, you can contact them and get this skill virtually. All right. And then if finance is an issue, you give them a call, and they're actually helping out with finance. So again, with your finances. So again, call the Physicians Management Services. One more time, the number is 618-825-8173, ladies and gentlemen. So again, if you're not trying to go into debt with these student loans, stop it. You dig what I'm saying? Stop it. All right, Big Herm, what you got? Yeah, go ahead.
So my question to you is, what is some of the biggest myths or some of the common trends that you run into when talking to people about credit? What are people most misinformed about?
Question. I think one of the biggest myths is that negative items have to stay on your credit report for like 7 to 10 years. That's probably one of the biggest ones, like bankruptcies, foreclosures, public records, I should say. At the end of the day, anything that is on your credit report that's not accurate, erroneous, or outdated, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you as a consumer, you have rights to be able to dispute those items for deletion. So we have to get out of that mindset of where you have to wait 7 to 10 years, because you don't. That's why it's very important for people to look at their credit reports, to know what's being reported, because 4 out of 5 credit reports do contain errors. Okay, so you can go to that myannualcreditreport.com, get your annual credit report for free, and be able to know what's on your credit report, so that you can have that Seth was kind of alluding to before. You know what's on there, so it won't be a surprise to you when you do go to that car dealership or go to that lender trying to get some credit. But that's one of the biggest myths I think we do have that's out there when it comes to credit.
Awesome. Trace, it's your boy Will again.
Yep.
So earlier you were alluding to when you have those people that buy that debt that you don't owe them anything, right? So basically you say you can hang the hell up on them when they call you.
Basically.
Right. All right, cool. So I just wanted to clarify that for my audience that's listening. You just hang the hell up.
Yeah.
The next thing is, you remember we had that big issue with payday loans and that high interest rates?
Yes.
So those pitfalls that get people in that big financial hole, and then they look at consolidation. It doesn't change the amount of debt that you owe, but people think that's a good way to go. So can you speak to why you should not go that way? And then some other alternatives that you can do to get yourself out of that situation.
Sure. That's a really good question. I remember the payday loans. Woo, back in Lackland. Yeah, Aaron Davis. I think they knew me by name, I think. But God, thank God for grace and mercy and education and some maturity.
You was out of line with it.
Oh my goodness.
One by yourself.
Exactly. I know I wasn't the only one. But yeah, when it comes to like you said, just kind of going to the debt consolidation, you hear mixed reviews on that as well. I think at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. If that's the best situation for you at that time for debt consolidation, by all means, go ahead and do that. But now as times are changing, you can go to credit unions. They have like a transfer credit card that you can just kind of transfer your debt from all your debt to one credit card, and then just make that one payment to that credit card. That would be able to eliminate the debt consolidation, the stigma of having a debt consolidation loan, because what that looks like to lenders sometimes is that you got all this debt, you couldn't manage it, and then you decided to, do a debt consolidation, which, it kind of, I think it's a 50-50 kind of thing for that. I really do. Like I said, the best thing for you, go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with it. It just can really have a negative impact on your credit, on your overall credit. But I think at the end of the day, like going back to our original, statement, it's about financial management. It's about the education. It's about living below your means, until you can kind of level up. So I think we can kind of nip it in the bud if we just kind of get back to the basics, if you will, and just educate the people on financial literacy and how it really works, and be able to manage the money much better.
Yo,
Did I answer your question?
Yo, that answered a lot of questions in between that. Jay Will, what you got?
Man, so like you said, y'all invited me from UMU, so I'm gonna come bring a little UMU in here and hit them with a UMU question, because I'm gonna hit Herm and Will first, and then I'm gonna go over to our expert with it. So at the end of our lives, man, I like to ask this question every time to every person, because I feel like we all like matured a little bit from what we knew in the past, and particularly pertaining to this subject of credit. Now I want y'all to try to think back. Now, Will, I know you owe you my man $100,000. So I want you to try, you know what I'm saying? Go back, and then you as well with our expert, go back. You just got off the bus from tech school. First assignment. Well, we probably didn't get off the bus. We went whatever, plane, whatever, train, pigeon, dropped you off, whatever. And that person just got off the bus. You can go back and tell that person one thing. That's it, one. I'm gonna start off with you, Herm. Now, particularly on this subject of credit, you can go back and tell yourself one thing. You just arrived to your first duty station, and then Will, and then if we could, matter of fact, since she's our guest Seth, if you don't mind, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna give her two things. I'm gonna give her two things that she can tell herself when she gets to her first base.
Right on.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Herm,
Man,
what you got?
That's a good question, man. One of the things that I would tell myself is,
no, it's not one of the things. You could just say one.
One thing, all right,
See, yo, because that's what happened. Yo,
that's how y'all doing the dance. Y'all just changed the rules.
Hey, we just make our own rules, bro.
Hey, yo, different show, bro. We get to the end different.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, but go ahead.
Yes.
The most important thing I would tell myself is, just because you got the money don't mean you have to spend it. You know what I'm saying?
Message.
It seemed like soon as I got paid, I was looking for ways to empty my bank account out, like I hated my money or something like that. You know what I mean? So I knew nothing about credit at all. You know, I just knew that if I had a credit card, that was more money that I could spend. You know, so that's what I would tell a young Herman Brown when he first got off the bus. Like, look, put some of that stuff away. You know, so I'll be in a better place today if I listened to that.
Awesome. So for me, if I can go back and tell myself one thing getting off that bus or that plane, it was a bus at Tech School down at Shepherd Air Force Base, is to save your money. Everybody that you're trying to impress, don't give a damn, because you are responsible for what's in your account and what you're willing to do. So if I had that one thing, it would be to save your money.
Oh, that's real good. And I'll be real quick too. What mine would be, marry up. You dig?
MARRY?
Marry up. So like her credit is your credit. Hey, be careful, young buck, and then I'll slide off in the back. And you dig what I'm saying? Lord, because hey, you do learn. So marry up. You feel me?
So not the girl from the boom boom room.
Yo.
You might have good credit. Leave her alone.
No, hey, listen. Some people don't understand what the word credit means until it's time. You dig? So, but go ahead, Tracy. What you got?
But let me hit on Will, because I want to ask you a question on that comment, Will, that you said was trying to keep up with certain people, right? So, how many of them people you still deal with today that you was trying to impress back then?
Actually, I still deal with about 5 people from my tech school back then.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But what I mean is like, when you think about how much you spent based on that number, 5 is not a lot, you know, because really you going out, you know, I'm trying to put that point out there for the young ones. I know we feel old, you know, whatever. But Will, I know you came across a lot of people in your lifetime, myself included. And to say like 5 is the number, it's you know, I want to put out that point, because like trying to stay up with people that you probably not going to deal with in the next 5 to 10 years.
Bro, keeping up with the Joneses, they move. Yeah, they moved. They moved years ago. But yeah, so what you got, Tracy? What you think?
Yeah. So those were all good. I know I can't repeat any of those. But I think for me, I remember back when I was, same thing, Shepherd Air Force Base, back in, yeah. I remember, y'all do the math.
What year was that?
I remember some airmen, even back then, had bought houses. They bought houses back when they were like 20 years old. But like you said, I think that also came from them being taught at a younger age, about acquired assets. So I would definitely tell Aaron Davis to be like, girl, buy you a house. Like, have that investment property already there. Allow that investment property to field or fund your lifestyle. Because that's kind of where I am now, all these years later. We're having passive income, residual income, and being able to leverage that investment property. But I think that'd be one of the things, is just to do investment at an earlier age, a young age. And then two, like you said before, just live within my means. I wasn't necessarily trying to impress anybody. I just wanted to be fly. So I just know that, I made money. It was just me. I didn't have any children. I wasn't married. So I was definitely like just a free spirit, but I would definitely look to be like a little bit more, I won't say control, but just a little more aware of the future that I'm trying to build for myself. So definitely look more like a big picture, I would say, versus just having a tunnel vision of what I was going through that particular day. Vision of where I want to see myself in 10, 15 years.
You know what, Tracie, that makes a lot of sense. And hey, Jay Will, I want to thank you too for asking that questions. I'm gonna read a couple of the comments, because just individuals giving their ideas or what they would have said. Like Miss Lily Wilson said, invest early. Right. Yeah. Someone else said, what is it? They said that, so utilities, you need good credit. Right. Good credit, unless a down payment for utilities. Never knew that, but that makes sense. Sir. Okay. And Spence, one of my or close friends, Spence Wilkins, he says, and he's over in Korea, I believe, right now. He says, tell people to pay their bills. Right. Just pay your bills. And you know what make it so bad? Look, it's something so small, but but when you're dealing with life and you're out there kicking and everything, you say in the back of your mind, hey, it's the 1st and 15th. I got it. Right. But they creep up on your ass. See?
Yeah. You make a good point with that one. That's good.
But you know what's
people think if you just pay your bills on time, you're going to have good credit. That's not true. That's only 35% of your score.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta pay your bills. It's a big chunk of it, but there's 65% of the rest of your score that needs to be compiled as well. And then with that, even when you think about it like that, you still have to have credit to establish credit.
See?
So it's like a double-edged sword. You're like, I don't have credit. I'm trying to establish credit. You don't get approved for it. Then it's like, okay, when you have poor credit, it's almost like having no credit, because you still can't get approved for anything. That's why it's important for us to probably do the authorized user, because there are a lot of places that really don't cater to those first-time credit people, like people that are trying to establish credit. So you definitely want to make sure you do a pre-approval type of thing, or know institutions that kind of cater to new creditors, like new first-time having credit type of individuals, and then go that route to establish your credit.
Okay. Well, look, we got one question. I want to get one question from the live, and then we can start to wrap up, team. But one question, Miss Monique Slater says, shout out to you, ma'am. Well, she actually said two things. She says she would try to tell your young airmen, this is what she do, to use that free BAH and buy a house. Dope. Absolutely. Dope. But anyway, she said, Tracie, can you educate people on what forbearance does to your credit? And what is that?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. She's asking me that one.
Oh, no. Now look, when you come on the den, you either know what you're talking about, or you don't. So
on a loan, though. Yeah, I don't really get into loans per se. But a forbearance, that's something to do with your loan. As far as, I don't really know all the ins and outs about that, Monique. I really do apologize for that. But I'm not really sure about the specifics about how forbearance of a loan actually works.
I can speak to that.
Okay, go ahead.
So a forbearance of a loan is when you can't make your regular scheduled payment and you make an agreement with that company, but you still will incur interest over that period of time. And it's set for a certain time frame, but when you come back on, now you start to pay your regularly scheduled payments. It's an option like with student loans, and some companies deal with things like that, but it's one of those things where you don't have enough money to cover the full bill. It's where you won't get put into a negative status and take a hit on your credit.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay. So it's just kind of like put on the end of the line.
Yeah.
It won't count as a dink against your credit.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't put it on the end. You just won't have to pay that type of bill. It's like puts it on pause, but you still pay the interest. Doing it. They still get the interest.
Okay. Well, look, Miss Tracie.
Well, that's good to know.
It is.
I'm glad she asked that question, because we don't know what we don't know. But guess what? If you don't ask the questions, you still won't know.
Exactly.
So now, in this COVID thing we got going on right now, a lot of corporations are definitely helping people out, giving them some type of financial relief, if you will. Not all, but a lot. So I think that's a very good point to kind of segue into that. If you're having some difficulties with paying your bills, or paying them on time or paying the full amount, reach out to your creditors, reach out to your landlords, reach out to your whoever you have your loans with, and ask those questions, see if they have some relief for you, because the help is out there. People are not trying to have you to default on your loan. So if they can help you out to kind of, help you over, then I'm sure they will look to do that. So definitely look out and ask those questions.
Yo, Big Herm, what you got, man? Wrap it up. What you got for your final word?
Hey, first I want to thank you, Miss Tracie. It's very informative for me. I want to send a shout out to the young people, or the people that first come in the military. Don't be like me, man. Don't take your star card and try to get that chick Nintendo 64 on your star card saying
no. Look, they're not gonna get a Nintendo 64, bro. And hey, at least say a PS5 or something.
Right.
They don't even know what what.
Hey, and also
Vision.
Right. Hey, shout out to you, Jay Will, man, for coming on. I've been watching you on UMU. I've been wanting you to come on here for the sole purpose so people can finally see what a light-skinned person really looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ. You know what? Look. All right. So you done. No. You done. You done. I'm out too.
I just got the light on. So no. I got the light on for better lighting.
Damn, boy. You know what?
I hold it down at the beginning too with the balls so we can stick together, and then he gonna just come in. You could have came at Will. He got.
You know what? I don't know why even. Anyway, hey, Spence, what you got, bro? Jesus Christ, this dude.
Great show, Tracie. Thank you for being on. Definitely some informative sessions to be had in the future. So we hope you come back. Absolutely. Hey, Herm. Hey, man, you still my dude, man. But thanks for being honest, brother. You're a big piece to this puzzle here at the den, man, by being transparent. We all weren't perfect, and we don't know what we don't know, but being vulnerable, I would say that's my last word. Never be too afraid to be vulnerable, to say that you need help, or to admit when you don't know something. Because if you do that for 20 years, trust me, it's going to bite you in the ass in the end. So learn early, and learn to humble yourself and be able to attack the information and be able to be willing to receive it from somebody else that's been there, done that. But hey, awesome show. See you next time.
All right, Jay Will, what you got, brother?
Hey, so for me, I appreciate y'all giving me the invite. I appreciate you as well, Tracie. I definitely some nuggets up in here, and I know I was listening. I'm sitting here writing. Look, I don't want to show y'all my little. I'm writing my notes down because you also gave me some stuff to go back off my last question to go back on the military side and try to improve as well, because there's a subliminal reason why we all know about the STAR card, but we don't know about VA benefits, right? Because we're so and I just want to say thank y'all for letting me get on. Thank y'all for letting me show, and shameless plug UMU, us mentoring us Facebook page, man. Come check us out on the live. This how we get down. It's the same. We're military, we're active duty, but we have personal opinions and views, and we have this same organic, authentic talk. So shameless plug for us. But thank you to the Lions Den as well. Thank you for having me on.
Most definitely. Miss Tracie, thank you, ma'am. So do you have any final words for anyone that credit score is in the 8s or someone's 800s or in the teens? Any final words you got for them?
Well, first, I definitely want to say thank you, Seth, for having me on. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys here in the Lion's Den. I think I want to piggyback on what Will said in reference to about the knowledge and just getting knowledge from anybody. Not anybody. Those that have been where you're trying to go, I should say. I like to say that knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is powerful. It's one thing to get the information and get the knowledge, but if you're not applying it, it's not going to do you any good. So we want to make sure that you're applying with the things that you are learning. But other than that, I want to just say that I'm definitely here to assist anyone for their credit restoration, credit repair needs. We do have rights as consumers, and we definitely help you leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act to be able to leverage those rights and get your credit reports cleaned up so that you can have a nice, healthy credit score. That 3-digit, like I said, determines way too much for it to be in poor status. So definitely hit me up if I could be of assistance to anyone.
And what's your number for those that didn't see the information?
618-560-3687. I am on Instagram at I am Tracie Brown. Also on Facebook as Tracie Brown.
All right, and you know what? And so, wow. So I would like to say to everyone that's watching right now, understand where you are, and to, just to further reemphasize the fact of being humble, knowing what you don't know, and doing the research, because real talk, I bet you know what an entanglement is. You dig? So put that same energy when it comes down to getting, I said it and I can't stand
something
it, but
gonna benefit you, right?
Something that's gonna benefit you, and to get out of other folk business and get in your own business, especially knowing where your credit is. And I will still reemphasize understanding. Hopefully you understand who you are joining with in holy matrimony. You dig? That is a big issue. Have those conversations. Now look, the first date, hey, how you feeling? All right, what's your credit score? Maybe not yet. Maybe the second one, though. But that's some stuff you need to really get on out there. But listen, I want to say shout out to everyone that's watching. Share, and follow us. Thanks for the individuals that's brand new and for the individuals that's continuing to support us. We love y'all. We will see y'all very, very soon. All right? Be easy.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. Make sure to listen to the show on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, and Radio Public, where you can subscribe, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you like or dislike this episode, we'd appreciate your feedback on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Lionscast. Check out the book, The Black Collar Mindset, The Art of Strategic Thinking, on Amazon, or www.theblackcollarmindset.com, a manual to maneuver through life strategically by holding yourself accountable. Tune in next week for another episode of The Lion's Den with Seth.